All right. Hello, friends. It's been a while since I made a video. You know, it's a busy time of year in real estate, the spring season. Not just that, I was in Las Vegas for the big Century 21 convention. Then I went to Florida to visit my mother. This month's her 90th birthday. So we've been running around. But aside from that, it's a sports fan's dream this time of year. That's right. I'm sporting a Blake Griffin Clippers jersey. Of course, Blake is on the Detroit Pistons now, who were just eliminated by the Milwaukee Bucks. My pick to win it all this year in the first round in a sweep. But the Clippers, you know, we're looking okay. We're down 3-1. Last game was a tough one. They just couldn't hit a bucket in the fourth quarter, missed quite a few free throws. But overall, we've been playing fairly competitive. There's been one blowout. The game 2 win was on the road in Golden State against a two-time defending champs. Record-breaking comeback from 31 points down, 23 down at the half, 31 points down in the third quarter. Exciting game. So I'm representing my LA Clippers jersey because it's hip to clip. I've been saying that since 1987, and it's finally come to pass. No All-Stars on the team. And part of my theory, I'm not a huge Doc Rivers coaching fan. I don't necessarily agree with a lot of his rotations. And in the past, he's always been very hesitant to play the rookies. This season, he had no option but to start 2 rookies, play another guy who's a third-year guy, but only 21 years old in Zubac, who they picked up from the Lakers midseason. But I think part of the reason why the Clippers have had success, they all bought in. There's no all-stars on the team, so there's no egos. Not only that, our 2 best players, Lou Williams, the leading scorer, and Montrezl Harrell, both come off the bench. So every other team, their best players are the starters. After, half of the first quarter, towards the end of the first quarter, the starters come out and need a rest. Every other team downgrades. Our second unit comes in, and we get better. So our second unit is playing against weaker opponents on the other team. So I think it's kind of an interesting strategy. But aside from the Clippers, of course, it's Yankee time. New York Yankees. When I was in Vegas, I made a little wager, got 5-1, some odds on the Yankees winning it all this year. Of course, I made the bet, 5-1 odds. I'm very excited. Since that time, 13 players have been hurt. 13 injuries in a month on the injured reserve. Aaron Judge, the star home run hitter, just went down the other day. So it's been interesting. But anyhow, aside from my little sports thing, we're going to talk real estate today. And what we're going to talk about is open houses. There's a proper etiquette when you visit an open house. First of all, if you're working with an agent, you should mention that to whomever is hosting the house, the open house, upon your arrival. I'm going to look at some notes that I have. You owe it to the agent. Not only do you owe it to the agent, let me go back. You owe it to your agent who's been working for you without getting paid thus far, I might add. And you owe it to the agent who's hosting. Do you want a real estate agent to be honest with you? Well, of course you do. And we want you to be honest with us. So let the people know when you walk in, I have an agent. And I'm going to tell you the most important questions to ask when visiting an open house. This is valuable information. You might want to take notes. I'll wait for you to grab a pen. It's okay. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. First question when you walk in. Hello, are you the listing agent? Because oftentimes it's not the listing agent. And whoever's hosting might be a trainee or an assistant. They don't even know a lot of the features about the house. You can ask them some questions. You'll get the old blank stare. So if it's the listing agent, they have a responsibility to know certain things, and you can pick their brain a little bit. If it's not the listing agent, still ask questions, but you can kind of assess from the answers if they really know what's going on or not. Next question, after you determine if it's the listing agent or not. How many days has this property been on the market? If it's a new listing, the first week or two, usually the first week, and especially if it's the first open house, there'll be a lot of traffic, a lot of people looking. Half of these people are nosy neighbors. They want to get decorating ideas, just see, oh, I've always wondered about that house, this and that. So, but if a property's been sitting on the market for a while, you have a better opportunity to negotiate because the sellers are starting to get a little itchy. Am I going to sell? What's going on? There's no offers. So you may also want to ask, have there been any offers or do you have any offers in hand? After how many days on the market? Very important question. What is the seller's motivation? What I mean by this is, why are they selling? Have they been relocated? Job? Do they want to be closer to their grandkids? Are they moving to a better school district? If they are, you know, this school district's not so good. Or are they just like, well, if they get this price, they'll sell. If not, you know, they're not. Is it contingent on them finding a replacement property? If so, don't get too attached because oftentimes they'll accept an offer from you and then they can't find the property because they're in fantasy land. They don't know reality. So that's a whole nother ball game. So you want to find out, is it contingent on them finding a replacement property? So in other words, what is their motivation? Next thing, I love this. Is there any flexibility in the seller's price? Do they have a little wiggle room? Start to feel out the agent a little bit. Don't insult and say, well, will they take 400 when they're asking for 500? Just say, do you think there's some wiggle room in the price? See the reaction. Sometimes you could read the agent when they're not even telling you. So just by how they react. The year built. What year was this property built? If it's pre-1978, there's a chance that there's lead-based paint because lead-based paint was legal until 1978. It was also before the California Title 24 building codes went into effect, which is our energy efficiency codes, which is insulation, HVAC sears, this sort of thing. But the insulation requirements and all of these things and energy building standards have improved over the years. But 1978 was the minimum standard, Title 24. Before that, there was none. So they didn't even insulate attics or walls or anything. Old single pane, metal windows, steel casement, whatever. So what year was the home built? And if it's an older home, these questions. Is there copper plumbing? Which means, has the plumbing been upgraded? Or is there the old galvanized steel that tends to corrode and have a lot of issues? And then you're going to know, you're going to inherit a house that needs to be replumbed. So that's a big expense. Excuse me while I have a little tea. Very good. I think that's raspberry. Very nice. Organic. Age of the roof. The roof is very expensive. So typical composition shingle roof is a 30 to 40 year roof. Tile roofs, we have a lot of Mediterranean type, clay tile, Spanish architectures out here typically have a 50-year lifespan. But the age of the roof is important because if they say, oh, geez, I don't know, and you look at it and the ridge caps are starting to curl up a little bit, on a basic 2,000 square foot single story house, you're looking at $17,000 to $20,000 for a re-roof. So you need to know these things. And if they say, oh, we don't know, but there's no leaks, that we don't know. When they play stupid, you know, they have to disclose certain things. So the next thing, if you see solar panels, it's a solar PV array. This kills me because you ask these agents and they don't know anything about solar. It's 2019. People need to become educated, but a lot of these realtors have no clue. So you want to ask about the solar PV array. Array just means the size of a system. PV stands for photovoltaic. This isn't solar hot water heating. This is an electric generation. 90% of these systems are tied to the grid, but you're producing on-site renewable energy to offset your electric bills or have the meter spin backwards and reduce your base load energy draw. About the solar, the questions are, what is the size of the system? 9 out of 10 realtors, they won't know because they've never asked. But ask anyhow, and you'll find out. If they know, oh, 5.4 kilowatts, 8.2 kilowatts, they know a little bit. You know they're knowledgeable. But is it leased or is it purchased? If it's purchased, fantastic, because you want to own the system. This is equity, instant equity to your home. You have it. If it's leased, you got to pay payments on the system. And, you got to assume the lease, or somebody's got to pay it off and redo the contract. A lease solar system is a scam, but they're everywhere out here. But that's a story for another day. There are other items like electrical panel service, foundation, which is, of course, very important, especially if it's a raised foundation, HVAC systems. These things will be discussed after you have an accepted offer. We open escrow. You as a buyer, you're going to hire a home inspector to go through the house with a fine-tooth comb. Typically a smaller house, 2,000 square foot house. It'll take about 3 to 4 hours for the property inspector, but they should be investigating and looking at these things. The HVAC system, which stands for heating, ventilation, air conditioning, which is your heater and your air conditioning. And these things, electrical panel is very important. So that's it for the open house questions. One final tip. I highly recommend you never walk into an open house and buy the house through the listing agent. If you don't have your own agent, I'm your guy. Call me. I'll negotiate the deal for you. Because fiduciary duty by law, the listing agent is representing the seller. Their job is to get the most money for the seller. You need someone in your corner who's going to negotiate a good price. And if the inspector finds anything, we need to get it repaired or credits or etc. So until next time, this is Ron Schwolski, Century 21 Culture, your local realtor. Please like, share, subscribe, follow me. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm everywhere. But why don't you know me yet? All right, anyhow, until next time, thanks for checking in. Have a nice day.